The opening dialogue of the movie is delivered by joy, one of the 5 emotions that reside inside the mind of a little girl named Riley. Joy explains how the emotions control the girl's basic actions and store her experiences as memory orbs, each colored according to the relevant emotion. These memories are shifted into long-term memory storage every night. The most important core memories make up 5 personality islands that reflect Riley's main aspects of personality. Joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger work together every day to navigate Riley's life with her parents, making sure she lives a happy and fulfilled life. However, everything changes when Riley turns 11, and her family moves to San Francisco from Minnesota due to her father's new job. The emotions are excited about the move, but things start to look bleak when they reach the new house. Despite Joy's efforts to maintain Riley's happy mood, the move has made her feel troubled, and the other colored orbs are stacking up in that day's storage. Joy is worried but activates a core memory to diffuse the tension when Riley's parents start arguing, causing Riley to engage her family in a game of hockey in the empty house. However, the happy mood is short-lived when Riley's father is called in at work, leaving her sad. Joy tries to make her happy again by activating the memory of a pizza place they noticed on their way to the house. But disgust takes over Riley's brain when she discovers that the only pizza served there is topped with broccoli, which she abhors. To make matters worse, the moving van is misdirected to Texas, delaying their belongings' arrival. Joy tries to put away the bad mood with a core memory, but when sadness touches that memory, it turns into a sad one, making Riley even sadder. The day has been tough for Riley, and her emotions are in disarray. Joy argues with the other emotions that there is no reason for Riley to end the day on a happy note. But when Riley's mother comes to kiss her goodnight, she thanks her for being happy through the tough day, which vanishes the bitter feelings in her mind. The next morning, Joy wakes up the other emotions and walks everyone through their roles to ensure that Riley has a great day since it is her first day at school in the new city. Riley walks to school in a happy and nervous mood after saying goodbye to her parents. But once in class, when the teacher asks Riley to introduce herself, it goes well until sadness touches the happy core memory, turning it blue and making Riley sad because that is a thing of the past now. This makes Riley cry, and a sad core memory is created. Committed to not letting a sad core memory power the 5 islands, Joy tries to dispose of the sad core memory through a vacuum tube, but sadness intervenes, letting free all the other core memories, which disables the personality islands. Joy, sadness, and the core memories are sucked into the vacuum tube, leaving the headquarters and all control to disgust, fear, and anger. Joy and sadness end up in the long-term memory, and when they notice that Riley's personality islands are disabled, they figure out that Riley won't be herself, and they need to get back to the headquarters as without Joy, Riley will never be happy. As Riley's emotions struggle to keep up with her changing moods, joy and sadness find themselves stranded in the long-term memory. Meanwhile, disgust, fear, and anger are doing their best to simulate joy, but their efforts are in vain. Riley's lack of enthusiasm for her mother's news about ice hockey tryouts leads to a heated argument between her parents, and without joy, the emotions are unable to respond properly. As a result, Riley ends up getting sent to her room. Joy and sadness attempt to make their way back to headquarters via the island tube, but it starts crumbling before they can get halfway there. They race back toward the long-term memory, watching in horror as the island falls into the memory dump. As Riley falls asleep, sadness despairs that they may be trapped down here forever, but Joy knows they must push on to make things right. Recalling that she asked sadness to memorize all the journals, Joy enlists her help to navigate the long-term memory labyrinth. As they wander aimlessly, they realize that they are running in circles, and they see that Riley has woken up. Joy guards the core memories against the headquarter, not allowing Sadness to touch them, lest they irreversibly turn blue. Joy and Sadness come across mind workers disposing of old memories that have not been retrieved in recent times. Joy hears a crashing noise and realizes that the friendship island has fallen into the memory dump. As Riley talks to her best friend in Minnesota and learns she has been replaced in the ice hockey team, anger takes over at the headquarters and makes Riley shut down the call. As Joy frantically tries to figure out how to get to the headquarters before Riley loses any more of her islands, she notices Bing Bong, Riley's beloved imaginary friend from childhood. After some initial resistance, Bing Bong warms up to Joy when she remembers a few things about their imaginary band and plays. Bing Bong guides Joy and Sadness toward a shortcut that leads them to the train of thoughts, the quickest way to get to the headquarters. Despite Sadness' warnings about the abstract memory section, Joy chooses to ignore them and rushes towards the train station with Bing Bong. They are halfway through the section when the mind workers activate the abstract memory conduit, causing Joy, Sadness, and Bing Bong to fragment. They manage to escape the abstract chamber and reach the train station, but it's too late as they see the train of thought moving away. Bing Bong reminds them of another station, but to reach it, they must cross Imagination Land, a land filled with French fries, clouds, lava, and more. Joy notices a distant rumbling and watches in horror as Hockey Island collapses. She urges Bing Bong to hurry towards the train station, but he gets distracted when the mind workers throw his rocket cart in the memory dump, crushing his hopes of going to the moon with Riley. Joy tries to cheer him up, but nothing works. Sadness sits with him and listens to his feelings, which helps him feel better, and he takes them to the train. Joy is looking forward to fixing things, but her happiness is cut short when Riley falls asleep, and the train of thought stops. Sadness suggests they wake her up near the Dream Production Studios. They head to the Daily Dream Theater and barge into the dream Riley is having. Joy wants to give Riley so much happiness that she wakes up in exhilaration, but Sadness reminds her that it will never work. Despite trying to cheer her up in the dream, they cause the dream to become somewhat disturbing, which starts to manifest on the meter as Riley is getting closer to waking up. The dream team calls security once they learn that the imposters are trying to wake Riley up. The security captures Bing Bong and throws him away in the subconscious, along with the bag of all the core memories. Joy and Sadness follow him inside the subconscious, an eerie place full of Riley's darkest fears. After they help Bing Bong free from the captivity of Jangles the Clown, they trick Jangles into appearing in the dream, causing Riley to wake up, which gets the train of thought moving. Meanwhile, back at headquarters, anger instills the idea of heading back to Minnesota as a way of getting back Riley's happiness. He makes Riley book a bus for the next day and steals money from her mother's purse for the bus fare. Riley leaves the house to flee back to Minnesota. This causes the train of thought to self-destruct, and Honesty Island falls into the memory dump. Joy was in a hurry to get back to the headquarters, racing through the recollection tube and leaving Sadness behind. But her journey was not as smooth as she had hoped. The tube faltered midway, and Joy tumbled into the memory dump, bringing along all the core memories. As she looked at the forgotten memories, Joy realized that she had only ever wanted to keep Riley happy forever. But now, she was surrounded by lost memories that could no longer contribute to Riley's happiness. Joy delved into the old memory orbs, and as she did so, she discovered something surprising. Sadness had always been there to help Riley regulate her emotions. It was a revelation that left Joy feeling shocked and remorseful. She knew that she had misunderstood Sadness's role all along. Fortunately, Joy remembered that Bing Bong's rocket was dumped in the memory dump. So, she searched for it and found it. Together, they powered it with songs and attempted to launch it, but the rocket was too heavy to return to the surface. Bing Bong knew he had to stay behind, as he was beginning to fade away. He coaxed Joy to try again and jumped off the rocket, sacrificing himself so that Joy could return to the headquarters and restore Riley's happiness. Meanwhile, Riley's parents noticed that their daughter was missing. Fear thought that they were onto them, but anger was determined to stick to the original plan of moving back to Minnesota for Riley's happiness. The emotions tried to scare Riley so that she would change her decision, but it only made her feel numb and indifferent. Joy managed to find sadness and apologized for not understanding her importance. With help from the imaginary land, they made their way back to the headquarters. The others were relieved to see Joy again and asked her to fix Riley, but Joy surprised them by asking Sadness to help instead. Joy realized that only Sadness could fix the situation. For a long time, Joy had been saving the core memories from Sadness, afraid that she would turn them into sad memories. But it was precisely Sadness's touch that could change Riley's mind about Minnesota, and she returned home. Riley broke down in front of her parents, expressing how much she missed her old life, friends, and hockey team. Her parents embraced her and assured her that everything would be okay. A new core memory was created, a mix of happiness and tears. It activated new personality islands, which were a blend of old and new aspects of Riley's personality. The movie ended with Joy playing ice hockey, with her parents cheering her on, and the emotions working in harmony.